Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys about what I'm doing in order to prepare for the upcoming Vykas patch. You know that Vykas will most likely come out sometime this month and quite possibly this week at the earliest. In order to access the Vykas Legion Raid, you'll have to be item level 1430 for normal mode and item level 1460 for hard mode. For those of you who are not quite there yet, don't worry about it. Eventually you will get there, so just keep on grinding. But for those of you who are already there at 1430 and 1460, there's a couple of decisions that you're going to have to make in the future, and they're going to be extremely costly. I'm going to cover a couple of these topics, but let's start off with the first one. Will you decide to stay at item level 1430, 1460, or push even higher? Personally for me, I decided to push even higher, and the main reason being is because we know the roadmap. It's not a real roadmap because we don't know the exact dates, but from what Amazon and Smilegate have said, they decided to push out a new class every other month. But does this also mean that we're going to get a Legion Raid every other month? Because if so, the next Legion Raid will be Kakul Saydon, and in order to do Kakul Saydon, you'll have to be 1475. If you already thought that you used up a lot of mats in order to try to push all the way to 1460, you're going to even use even more mats trying to push to 1475. If you're trying to do this really cheap, I highly recommend that you decide to push your armor instead of your weapon. However, I know that some of you guys may be tempted for the glow. I'm going to give you a snapshot of what it looks like. For a plus 17 armor piece, in order to upgrade it for the base, you need 16,824 honor shards. For every single attempt, it costs 396 honor shards. And the higher you go, it's going to cost even more materials. If you do it the cheap way, you should definitely focus on your armor over your weapon. However, I know some of you guys may be tempted on the weapon, and I'm definitely tempted on upgrading my weapon as well. And I got it all the way up to plus 20. In order to get it to plus 21, it costs a lot of materials and I highly don't recommend it, but if you want to push for the glow, go for it. But to give you a snapshot of that one, you need 60,480 honor shards just for the base to fill it up. And for every weapon attempt, it costs 1,432 honor shards. If you've taken a look at the auction house recently, you may have noticed that honor shard prices have drastically increased. So if you have bad luck with honing, and have to pity multiple pieces, it can get extremely costly and you may find yourself struggling with mats, especially if you have been funneling materials to your ults. So you need to be really careful on how you try to plan for this. You know that you quite possibly have to get to 1475 in 2 months, and you also have to try to level up your ults as well if you want to try to increase your income. If you haven't already, I would definitely park all of my ults at least at 1370. That way you can do hard mode abyssal dungeons, you can do Argos as well. If you want to push higher to 1415, it's up to you. However, it's going to cost a lot of mats. And if you haven't noticed already, you're going to run into some huge bottlenecks. Personally for me, I'm playing on multiple ults. I have 7 characters in tier 3, and the biggest bottleneck so far has been honor shards. The second bottleneck has been gold. Everything else I have been pretty much okay with. Seeing how you can't really push all your characters at the same time unless you spend gold in the first place in order to buy materials off the auction house. If you're doing it naturally, just by playing, by doing your dailies, your weeklies, you're going to be able to level each character at different phases and you're going to have enough materials eventually. But honor shards, it's definitely my biggest bottleneck, and gold is the second one. It costs a lot in order to try to push it to 1415. So you need to be extremely careful with how you plan in the future. In the next upcoming patch, I'm guessing we might get the Ark Pass, so that will definitely help. It'll help push your character even higher, and also you may have enough mats left over in order to push an ult character. So you can pick and choose what you want to do, but for myself, definitely I am saving a large amount of mats in order to try to push to 1475 just to be safe. By pushing to a higher item level, there's also some additional benefits to it as well. For example, you'll be tankier and you also do way more damage, so you'll be able to push through certain phases a lot quicker. Overall, throughout the Legion Raid fight, you'll definitely use less potions if you were a higher item level than if you were 1460 for the minimum eye level requirement. Also, another benefit is that if you don't have a static group and you're planning on pugging it, by being a higher item level, you'll look more attractive than the other applicants, because once you apply, people will look at your item level, your class, your engravings, and gems, and compare you to the other applicants. It sucks, but it is what it is. If you remember for week 1 Velton, or if you weren't there, I'll tell you about it. Week 1 Velton sucked if you were at the minimum eye level and if you were a DPS class. It was really hard trying to find a group that was dedicated in order to learn how to do the Vulcan raid for progression. Personally for me, I was rejected so many times to many groups trying to apply here and there even though they had spots open, because there were people that were higher item level applying to those groups and getting in a lot quicker. And it pretty much sucked. If you were a support, you can do whatever you want, you can apply to any group, everybody wanted you. People were willing to pay supports gold. I saw anywhere up to 5k to 15k gold. I saw people giving the loot at the end. There's a lot of perks for being a support right now. For Vykas, it'll be the same exact way. It's going to be hard finding a support. People are going to be looking for supports. It's going to be hard trying to find a pickup group. If you can, I highly recommend that you try to form a group early on. Check out the Discord for Lost Ark, check out the forums, check out Reddit. Try to form a group so you don't have to waste so much time trying to find a group in the future. Try to find people that are dedicated, have a lot of time in order to try to learn the raid in order to do it, because Vykas has 3 phases I believe, and it'll take quite some time in order to complete them all. The next question you'll have to ask yourself is if you're ready to work on your 5x3 engraving build. If the answer is yes, you're going to have to save up a lot of gold. You're going to need a lot of gold for relic accessories, you're going to need a lot of gold for the ability stones, and also the legendary engraving books. I know focusing on these items will be extremely expensive and you need a large amount of gold, but if you were to focus on one, I highly recommend that you focus on the legendary engravings first. The reason why you should focus on the legendary engraving books first is because with the next upcoming patch, we will most likely get Throne Spire as well. It's very similar to the tower where you need to clear each floor to get rewards, and one of the rewards that you can get is 2 legendary combat engraving books. If they're still tradable, that will be pretty huge because people will sell them on the auction house for some gold. If they sell them on the auction house, I'm hoping that people start undercutting each other, and hopefully some of the prices for legendary engraving books go down by 1,000, 2,000, or 3,000. If so, that's pretty much great because I need to buy a lot of these books. Personally for myself, I'm going after Grudge, and Grudge, yes, is insanely expensive. However, it's a common engraving across all the DPS classes. If I can get that out of the way, then pretty much I have paid the Grudge tax, and hopefully if the prices go down that day, I can get it at a discount. I definitely will not have enough gold to buy 18 Grudge books, but hopefully I can get a good chunk of them. Another reason why you should focus on the legendary engraving books first is because over time, as you keep playing, grinding out for legendary engraving books, more people will continue to get to 1415 and 1445. There's going to be more people posting accessories on the market, and hopefully the price of accessories go down as well. And also, as each day passes by, maybe you may get lucky if you check the auction house, someone will list one of the accessories that you need at a very cheap price. So if you get lucky with that, you get a discount there. But you have to be lucky, that's the thing. But if not, you definitely have to keep grinding, you have to keep saving in order to buy your accessories. If you want to plan out your engravings for a 5x3 build, I highly recommend going to the website that I have in the description down below in order to find your build. One of the websites that I use is Loa Toto, and you can basically figure out your 5x3 engravings. You can mess around to see what it would look like, and it'll help you plan out for the future. But definitely you need to make a decision on whether or not you need to work for the 5x3 build. Because from what I'm reading, in order to do Kakul Saydon, which is 1475 item level, you definitely need 5x3 engravings. And I guess if you don't want to be 5x3 engravings, you could try to push your item level even higher to make up for that damage. But I'm not sure how much materials it will require in order to push beyond 1475. The last topic that I wanted to talk about is more of a reminder, and it's to make sure that you have enough potions and battle items stockpiled before Vykas comes out. The day when Velton came out, the prices of all those items increased drastically. People were running out of pots. Some people had to leave my pug groups because they didn't have enough gold to cover for potions. Prices have already increased by a little bit on my server, and it will only continue to increase. So if you can, spend a little bit of time foraging, try to craft some potions. If possible, use the materials from your farm in order to craft potions that you can set up in your stronghold. You can also use your platinum field tickets if you haven't, and also check out Mari's secret shop as well in order to buy potions. Based off my blue crystal calculator, it's actually cheaper buying the potions off Mari's secret shop than actually buying it off the auction house. So be sure to check that out as well. But pretty much those are all the topics that I wanted to cover, and hopefully you found this video really helpful. But good luck to you guys all out there on your Vykas raid. If you're not ready for Vykas Normal Mode or Hard Mode, don't worry about it. Eventually you will get there. But good luck to you guys out there, and I'll catch you guys next time in another video for Lost Ark. Peace.